This show is part of the Drowning Man Podcast Network. Visit drowningmanpodcasts.com.
Off the Dice is a time-to-tabletop production, building community through the language of gaming.
Welcome to Off the Dice,
where we ask hard, pressing questions to gamers.
We do ask questions, that's for sure.
Well, it's time to get to know our next victim, guest.
So pull up a chair
and let's talk Off the Dice.
Welcome to Off the Dice. This is our show. I am your host, one of the hosts, Scooter, and our other host,
Rysa.
We are here yet again with a special guest. Our special guest today, let's let him introduce himself. Special guest.
Hello there, young lovers. Hi, I'm Jim Goodnight, the guy who runs that one show who manages to still stay on the air, One Shot Action Theater on Time to Tabletop. I'm also a guest on some other stuff. I'm the obscure guy.
I've heard of that Twitch channel.
Oh, yes. Oh,
I've heard of it.
how interesting.
Likely story.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I'll give you a little rundown because we like to blindside our guests so they don't know what the hell is going on. That's just how we run this show.
Is the Sandra Bullock gonna pop out? Oh, wrong blind side. Sorry.
You would never know.
Oh, well, okay.
Because this is all audio.
Yeah.
Oh,
So she could be here.
In fact, she's
nobody
actually
knows
in the
it.
kitchen right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
Again. What you making?
Does anybody know how to do a... Nope, I can't do it.
Yeah,
I'm just making some coffee.
This is how we run our game. Our game today, Off the Dice, we get to know you by playing a game. It's kind of a game show, questionnaire type of deal. First, we have to create a character. Character creation. And that character is you. So, what we're going to do is do a character creation based on a few attributes for yourself. So, Jim, first attribute. On a scale of 1 to 20, how would you rate your charisma?
12.
12.
Yes, 12. The reason why I say 12 is because everyone's going to think, charisma is all based on how someone would look, and as opposed to like how someone carries themselves in a conversation or talking to a group of people to rally them. I mean, I could talk to people all day, more so if I'm interested in something, but if it's something like, that dress is really slimming, or a bunch of other crazy stuff, I'm just not that good at it.
So you say you rely on voodoo.
More like blind, unadulterated luck. And anybody who can catch quick cultural references, just like snapping.
I can see that. I can see that. You're very quippy on those. 12.
It's a solid
for
12.
charisma. Solid 12. That's
And-
above average.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and we're not basing it on physical looks, because you guys aren't really seeing me unless you watch the show. So you guys probably don't know that I don't have a dad bod and that I'm 6 feet tall, which is what all the Tinder girls want. And
Ripped.
Yes, ripped. Not ripped, shredded.
Okay.
Shredded like a phone book.
So that's
an
part of
analogy.
his
There you
voodoo
go.
charisma. Is a
Voodoo
12.
charisma, okay. Voodoo charisma 12.
All right. Very well done.
Not bad. All
Thank
right.
you.
Scale of 1 to 20.
Very humble.
Scale of 1 to 20. How do you rate your brain?
Smart? Well, let's see. I wasn't really burdened with an overabundance of schooling. I am kind of a byproduct of...
Yeah.
I like the
I
word
was-
burdened.
I was a byproduct of California public schools, but, there's some things that, I like to know and I like to think about, and I like kicking around things and planning and plotting stuff, so I'd say intelligence is maybe a 14.
14.
I'm not a super genius. There's still some things I don't know about what I do for a living, but there's other things that's like, oh, it's just like that. Some things I don't know about gaming, but it's like, that makes sense.
So,
So you roll a
reasoning.
d20 not to die. Okay, yeah, I'm on that. Yeah. So,
I could see that. I mean, is it a deductive reasoner? I think that's a thing.
deductive reasoning. Well, deductive reasoning kind of also comes along with common sense, and common sense
It's not common.
Yes, you think.
Unfortunately enough.
You think in my line of work, common sense would be like automatic, the thing that makes the most sense you would do. But yeah,
The last thing, it's like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, after you discuss common sense, then there's people in charge. Sometimes those don't go together.
yeah, it's yeah. I'll remain at that because I really don't want to say anything about my employer because I kind of like working.
But you just did. Don't you work on a time to tabletop channel?
Oh, but
Yeah.
I have. If you'll excuse me, I'll get going.
Yes. Sound of chair. All right.
There you go.
Scale.
Said he was at 14 before he left.
Scale of 1 to 20 on 1 to 20 on your third attribute, dexterity.
I don't know if this falls under another dumb blind luck thing, but there's a family story. When I was wee tiny, we used to live in Southern California. I mean, we've lived in Southern California our entire lives, just about. We used to live in, like, I think a 2 or 3 story apartment. It was probably a 2-story. So, Mom had me sitting down watching some Sesame Street, and, you know, my brothers, they went outside, they went to go play, and I think we were moving, I don't know, but there was this window that was open, and there was a screen. So, I guess I got it in my head that I wanted to go out and go play with my brothers. So, I guess I pushed this suitcase over to this window. And then I pushed on this screen, and then they heard me crying for about 5-10 minutes. Everybody was looking for me, and they found me on the ground floor sitting on top of this screen crying. So I don't know if I ninja rolled or if I found a tree or I did the whole Assassin's Creed hay bale thing.
But you had
yeah.
the screen underneath you, right? So
Yeah,
I have
it was like a really crappy magic carpet.
So I have a picture of I can show you the world.
That's
I had Aladdin in my brain when you went down on the screen.
Oh my God.
Seriously, that's what I saw.
It's a lot better than what most people see. I probably see a bald kid riding on a screen going, "What the hell is that?" So, but otherwise, manual dexterity when I was younger, yeah, it was fast. Just all the bad life choices of living in Southern California and then working for a nondescript organization that kind of does stuff around the world. I got slow, so I would like to think that I am probably at a 13 right now.
13.
Right.
13, yeah. It's interesting you make that segue from baby falling out of a screen to talking about poor life choices, and I'm still at a 13. I'm in my teens.
That's not bad.
Well, I mean,
man.
according to 5th edition, you still get a bonus.
Yeah, but I want more.
So that's not so bad.
You want more.
That's not
We just created your character.
Hey. We
So,
did it.
you just leveled up to level 1.
Hooray! I didn't have to go through a meat grinder.
You don't know that yet.
Yeah, you don't know
Meat
that
grinder
yet.
awaits. A little bit about level 1. Level 1 are very quick questions. The quick questions, we have to accept your answer.
You have to accept my answer.
We have to
We
accept your
accept
answer.
it.
No matter where you put it, we can judge you.
You're judging me already.
Yeah, I was say, we probably will.
We
be
will
judging
comment
you.
and judge, but we have to accept it. So welcome to level 1. Rysa, you want to give it a start?
Hey.
Where's that dinner bell where I level up?
I know.
Oh, that's all in there somewhere. We have a lovely editor named Valerie.
Valerie.
That will happen.
Love-
Oh, by the way, hey Val. I just want to let you know.
All right,
This is
ready?
a love line.
Oh,
Love
it's the quiet storm.
That's next
quiet
week.
storm. Yeah, next week.
Love life.
Oh, next week. Will we
All right.
find Jim a date?
Question 1.
Tomorrow.
All right, question 1. Circle or square?
Circle.
Ooh.
right.
All right.
Not bad.
Judging already.
Yep.
The second question. Is cereal soup?
Well, if you think about it this way, you're pouring a liquid and consuming something solid. However, dude, it's cereal. It's soup. if you think about it.
Okay.
But you shouldn't think about soup. You should think, oh, great, I'm having cereal. The only thing you should think about is, what am I having it as a meal for? Am I having cereal for dinner? Am I having cereal for 11sies? What?
There are certain cereals that are definitely a dinner.
Well, tequila and cornflakes would be a hell of a dinner, right?
Yeah, as long as you squirt a little lime on it.
Well,
You have to lick the salt off your hand,
Lick the
and
salt,
with each
squirt
bite.
a lime on it.
no, where you would have like
Cereal
your toast. That's where your salt is. So you have to lick.
Yeah. Oh my.
Take a sip of your bowl and crunch down.
Alrighty. Often or often?
Often.
Yes.
I think you won.
Yeah.
No, I just I have to agree on that one.
Oh, yeah.
But I think so far, just the people that I know, it's split down the middle.
I've heard more often.
Yeah,
I think it's a dialect thing. That's
Yeah.
probably only one other way you think about it.
strange.
You know, sodas pop in some places.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
just
like
do
a
soda pop.
Yeah, I would like a Coke.
I encompass it. I encompass both. All right,
Like a Pepsi. Well, what kind of Coke is that?
it's not.
Exactly.
So, would you like paper or plastic?
I would like a reusable bag of some kind
All right.
because it's cheaper
All right.
I agree with
and it
that.
saves the environment.
All right.
But I didn't have my bag with me when I bought stuff.
That's always how it is. I brought my bags. They're in my car. Shit.
Yeah, well, that's me all the time, constantly. And I'm not going to go out to my car to get them.
Oh, hell no.
No.
I usually just put the stuff in my car and bag it. Because
I do that very
Or I
often.
do that whole
I do that very
self-bag.
often.
Yeah.
Where I just carry all the stuff I want out.
I do it too often. All right. Olives, black or green?
Black.
I want to say I'm silently judging you, but I just verbalized it, so I'm verbally judging you.
Well,
Yeah.
green olives belong in martinis. Black
Yeah,
olives
and I
belong
love
on
martinis.
pizza. But I'm not drinking a pizza.
Why not?
I'm not
Have
that
you?
technology has not been involved.
Because it's not a
Are
soup.
you sure?
It's not a soup.
Are you sure? Because I think there's blenders.
Yeah, but who wants to blend a
Pizza.
I give me a Vitamix, man. Let's
All right.
go.
Vitamita Megamix.
Would you rather be tickled or startled?
I'd rather be tickled because if I'm startled, that means I'm about to hit fight or flight.
Oh, shit.
I
All
fight or
right.
flight when I'm tickled.
Yeah,
Just putting it out there.
there you go.
Oh, God!
Everyone tickle him.
Honey, you can't sneak up on me like that.
No, it never works. She will
So
tell you.
glad this one's here. Do aliens exist?
Do we have enough time for me to answer
It's a
this?
yes or no.
Yes or no?
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Do aliens exist? If you have to think
Long
about it,
answer.
they do.
Long answer, yes. Short answer, no, with a but.
Okay.
I'm indecisive because there's possibility of evidence that there might be a higher power out there in the universe that is similar to an alien species. Will we ever meet them in our lifetimes? I don't know. But you'd think with all the things that are going on in modern society right now, you'd think they would probably stay the hell away until everything normalizes.
No shit. Oh my god.
So you're saying we don't know what we don't know?
Well, there's I forgot his name.
That guy.
Alfred C. Clarke, the guy who wrote. And if I get the name wrong, I'm sorry. We could re-edit a bunch of other first names when we do the editing. Arthur C. Clarke, I think that's his real name. He once said there's two different possibilities. One is that there is no extraterrestrial life in the universe and we're all alone. And the second thing is that there is and that they're coming. Something like that. Paraphrasing.
Eventually.
Yeah, XCOM. Yeah,
Eventually.
That's why I remember that one.
All right. PC, Mac, or Chrome?
PC.
I'll accept it.
Oh. Well.
I have to accept it. It's level 1.
Yeah. Well, I accept it because it's the right answer.
And we are recording on a PC.
Yeah.
So I can be swayed.
Well, we like brr the name, so that way it's like it's PC or.
Could be anything.
Thank you, generous sponsors of the PC Master Race. We love you.
Oh.
Alrighty. Salsa, chopped or blended?
I'll do both. I mean, chopped is fine. Chopped is classic. Blended is kind of more like modernized, I think.
It
But
is.
you don't want to get that stuff from New York City.
No. No, that's the stuff I grew up on. Yeah, that's my mother's idea of salsa was paste pecani sauce. That is not salsa, people. It's not salsa. It's not. I moved to California. It is not salsa. All right.
That's when people are supposed to yell in the background, New York City.
This is not. Yeah, it's not my rant. Star Wars or Star Trek.
I don't regret being on the show because I love being on this show and I like talking. But you're making it really hard right now.
Yeah, it's
right. Or when I was younger and I loved it to death, Star Wars, like absolutely without a doubt. But the older I got, I don't see a lot of negative things coming from the Star Trek fandom right now. I mean, they got Discovery and they have like the actiony movies, but like Star Wars, like the fandom's just awful right now.
It's getting pretty bad.
Oh.
The girl who played Rose had to delete her Instagram because people were so rude to her.
Yeah. It's that there were the guys who were trying to crowdfund an absolute 100% remake of The Last Jedi, which I think is hilarious because even with like if they get like $300 million to even budget it, no one's gonna do it.
No.
It's I love Star Trek. I love Star Trek, and I love Star Wars for what it was. And I don't see the Disneyfication that a lot of people see because it's Star Wars. Star Wars is always going to be this. Star Trek's always going to be that. But right now, if I had to look at it, and if it's something that we really need in society, I want to say Star Trek more than Star Wars.
That's a legit answer.
It's very legit.
Yeah.
I have very strong feelings on both ends for different reasons. Star Wars is a story. Mm-hmm. So if you want to argue a made-up story, there's no clout in your argument.
Right.
There's really not. There's no set-in-stone rule book on what makes sense and what doesn't make sense in Star Wars because it's a written, made-up story. Mm-hmm. So that way, I was like, enjoy it for what it is. And then I have strong opinions about Star Trek because Star Trek was very good and still very good at attacking social issues.
It is very good at that.
It is extremely relevant, and like sometimes, I mean, funny fact, one of the buildings my dad used to work at, because he used to work for some place called TRW, and then they got bought out by Northrop Grumman and McDonnell Douglas, I think. Those big aerospace companies. And one of the buildings he used to work at TRW was actually one of the buildings they used in that episode where they had those little space pancake amoeba things. Spock went blind.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
That one of the buildings he used to work near was like their colony building back in the 60s. And also another funny fact, back at Universal Studios back in the 80s and 90s, they used to have this Star Trek adventure thing where if you signed up, you got to live out an adventure on the Enterprise. So they had like the bridge, and they had like an engine room, and they had like this alien planet and a Klingon ship bridge, and they'd put you in like an outfit. My dad was a Klingon, my mom was an alien, I was the away crew, my oldest brother was the engineer, and my older brother was the helmsman on the bridge. And I got to beat my dad up with a giant foam rock.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty fun, great.
Like about 3 feet tall, me picking up a rock with one arm.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the tape somewhere.
So this is...
It is gone now. It is.
This is
not
why your
exist.
dexterity was low?
No, this was when it was like fast.
We didn't
as
do a
lightning.
strength check.
Yeah. Well, it was foam, so I got advantage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I did get advantage on that roll.
He did get. He got a plus.
Yeah, he was like, I would like to rage, please. Okay, well,
I would like one rage, sir.
Just one.
Hold the
make
olives.
Make it a double, but just give me one. Well,
Often.
here's the cool thing.
You made it.
You made it. You have leveled up. You finished level 1. We are on to level 2.
Mm-hmm.
Level 2.
So let me give you a little bit about level 2. Level 2, we don't have to accept your answer. You have to explain to us, and we have to accept the answer as truth, as your own opinion. To me, opinion is truth, right? It's not fact, but it is truth. because your opinion is your opinion. I cannot
Your
argue
opinion matters.
that. But we get to judge on whether we really think it's your opinion or you're just making some shit up.
Okay.
So I'll go first on this one.
Guy in the back with the sign. Write really big letters. My eyes ain't working like they used to.
First question for level 2. What would you like your hometown to be?
What would I like my hometown to be? Let's see. Well, I was born in Maryland, and then I grew up in Southern California, so hometown, I guess, for everything else is Riverside, California. I would like it to be, well, I'd like for it to be the same as it was. I mean, you can have nostalgia and hindsight's 2020, but you know, if you look at it, or if I looked at it in rose-tinted glasses saying, oh yeah, I used to love it there. Nowadays, when I drive through it, I can't stand it. The only times I like being there is when I'm at my parents' house. Everything else is so spread out, so far away. And, you know, I'd like things to be closer. I mean, it took me about maybe 20 minutes to have to drive to school when I was a senior. And even longer when I had to wait for my mom to wake up so that way she can take me to school.
I was 4 blocks from my high school. But then again, my hometown was like 6 blocks total. So it's all relative.
I mean, yeah, and there's certain things that I loved about my hometown. One thing that I really liked at one point in time was Riverside, California had an Air Force base, which is a reserve base. That base, back in like the 40s, during World War II, was actually the home studio for when Bob Hope used to do his USO shows. So, like, when they would record it and send it out to whatever on Armed Forces Radio, you know, they had Bob Hope's show on there. And it would broadcast out from there. So,
that's pretty rad, man.
Yeah, currently it is the home of how they do Armed Forces Radio and television. So, they'll cut, like, commercials out of regular TV shows, and they'll insert some of the most interesting commercials you'll ever see, and then send them and have them transmitted overseas. You really don't know much about America until you find out at least 10 times a day that in some specific period of time, Teddy Roosevelt founded the national parks.
So what we're encompassing is you would like your hometown to be living with Bob Hope.
Yeah.
That's what I got out of it.
I got tangible, as I always do.
But I'm going to accept the answer as
Bob Hope.
Yeah, what would you like your hometown to be?
I want my hometown to be more like Bob Hope.
Bob Hope. Okay, I can accept that.
All right.
Bob Hope.
Go ahead, Rysa.
Okay. What's your favorite toe?
What's my favorite toe?
Don't act like this is a weird question. This is super normal.
We all have one.
Yeah.
I was clipping my toenails today. I was like, there you are.
I don't know. Maybe it's...
Gave him a little rub.
If you think about like toes and how they're arranged on my feet, it's different because the toe that's next to the big toe sticks out a little more. So he's like the pathfinder. So if I'm walking across like my floor and if it doesn't have anything on it, it's fine. But he'll be the first one to find out that there's something there. So I guess index toe? Is that it?
So that would be, it's kind of like your pointing system. Mm-hmm. Like, which way you going? Check with my toes.
Yep.
Subarus are saying south.
So, but then your crooked little toe is like, I think you're going left or right. I don't know. Kind of jacked up. All right.
Steering's a little off. Let's recalibrate. Bang it into the wall.
Rysa, would you accept that?
I'd accept that. Okay. Everyone's got their favorite toe. I'm into it.
Okay. Because I'm not really judgmental about favorite toes. Because I think everybody has one of them has a purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. You can disinvent one thing. What is it?
Disinvent, as in take apart something and it could never ever...
It never was invented.
I don't want to go with something simple as saying an A-bomb because they kind of help. And I don't want to say I would disinvent the printing press because a lot of good has come from the written word. Is it like not an invention but an idea or a concept? Can I disinvent that?
Everything's been invented. Yeah. I mean, look back to whatever history you go back to, whatever religion, whatever. We started from nothing. Or were created, it doesn't matter. So something was invented all the way. But only one thing.
This is probably going to be incredibly philosophical, but I would like to disinvent the horrific thing that is, I would say racism. Because the idea of somebody putting themselves above someone else because of certain things or certain markers that they would think makes them better than everybody else, that's just horrible.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, because
Because I was going to go with something light and weird, like time. Because we invented it.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually exist.
But if you
racism,
He says, yeah.
if you disinvent
it's
time,
invented.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I will tell you very strongly, is like there's not racism in any other animal on this planet except for human beings.
Yeah, and another idea would be disinventing. Yeah, well, disinventing racism. I was going to say we can disinvent humanity, but I kind of like being me.
Yeah.
I'm okay with being human. I would rather be a a pterodactyl. But yeah,
I identify as an Apache helicopter.
Well,
I really enjoy that, because I think when it comes to, I really enjoy the racism thing, because I really feel like that's a total social construct that human beings for some reason made up. Because if you look at it, there's nothing on the hierarchy of genos that there's no such thing as a different race besides human race. So it's completely it's not just made up, but it's made up out of something that's made up. I was like, what are you doing? It doesn't exist. It actually doesn't exist.
No,
Yeah,
it's not a thing.
It's a byproduct of a bunch of horrible people who have this horrible inferiority.
So whatever you want to say, like disinvent, uninvent, get the fuck rid of.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, maybe.
GTA, or
Bye,
GTA,
Felicia.
Yeah.
Any way you want to put it.
That's a good
Wow,
one.
that is
I like
something
that one.
I have not heard yet. So I'm into it.
Well, like it's not something that should be something that the human race should be remembered.
It's made
We
up.
should be remembered for landing on the moon,
It's made up.
or we should be remembered for making the Gutenberg Bible, the printing press, all that stuff. We should be remembered for achievements in bettering ourselves, not to remember the human race as a bunch of ignorant jackals.
But did we land on the moon? And was the written word given to us by aliens? Oh, next question. Go ahead, Rysa.
Please don't ask that one, because
Wow.
I will tell you there's two people.
Get me 5 beers and let's go. I am ready.
There's something I once heard is like there's two kinds of people in the world. There's those who don't think we landed, or there's those who believe in the metric system, and there's those that have landed people on the moon.
Believe in the metric system.
Believe or don't.
It exists.
It exists.
Metric system.
But a lot of the stuff that it uses is imperial. Yeah, I mean it's like
I think there's only 3 countries left that use that.
Yeah.
2 or 3. It's us and
England still uses it.
well, I was thinking England still uses like their imperial measurements.
Yeah.
You know,
when a
like
pint
King's
is
Foot.
actually like a lot of beer.
Yeah.
Instead of like
Whereas the legitimate thing,
16-ish ounces, like there's like almost 20.
Delicious.
It's still delicious.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to the next question.
4
'cause
4 ounces.
Now I'm
of
getting
less
thirsty.
delicious. I know, right? All right. What is something that everyone looks stupid doing?
Motherfucking selfies.
Oh,
That's right, MFS, motherfucking selfies.
Siri, take a selfie.
Yeah. I'm kidding.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I take selfies, but I'm not like geo posting them and slamming it down people's throats on Instagram. I don't even post stuff on Instagram. You know, I take pictures of me and the cats because, hey, it's odd because
Because you have cats?
I have cats. I adopted them from a foreign country, and other people would tell me, hey, you should give them up. You should send them back to the person who wanted them to begin with. I'm like, no, No, I'll keep them. Not because they're pets, not because of anything else. I like animals. I like dogs. I like dogs a lot, but...
Plus, cats can't swim. How are they going to go to another country if they can't swim? Is it Canada
they
or
were
Mexico?
born there.
Oh.
And then I had to put them in, like, giant carriers and flew them across the Atlantic. And when they got to Baltimore, they were supposed to fly with me to L.A., or not L.A., Sacramento, and then they left them at Reagan. It was a very long story how I got here.
You got to check their passports.
Yeah.
They had cat passports. It's not like they were like
ports.
Cat ports.
Yeah, it's not
That's
like
a thing.
It's not like somebody took a picture of them. They had like a little bow tie, their
like,
paws up front.
Oh,
like,
why not? Little
Why not?
monocle.
That would have been fantastic, man.
All
I
right.
want bow ties for the girls.
Right.
Let's move to our next one. Favorite children's animated film.
Oh dear God, I could go on for about another 3 to 4 minutes,
it's-
judging on questions and answers. You want my favorite childhood animated movie?
Children's, not your childhood, but favorite children's animated film. So, currently, who you are right now.
I mean,
But there's got to be a favorite.
my favorite. If I had to pick right here and now,
Yes, you do.
and I do,
You definitely
because
do.
it's a part of the thing, and I'm in a room with walls that are moving, not really fast, but more like
Sandra Bullock
Funhouse.
is like holding you hostage
Yeah,
right
Sandra
now.
Bullock is getting a little feisty.
She's good. Yep.
Yeah, she's already
She's
like
threatening-
pointing at her gun, and
She's not congenial anymore.
Threatening to not make dinner.
Yep.
Come on.
It's over.
she blindsided me with a 2x4 and a nail. No, I want to say Aladdin, Disney's Aladdin. I say Disney's Aladdin because I grew up being a big fan of Robin Williams, and I loved his humor. There was huh?
Yeah, I'm feeling you right now.
Yeah.
That's what
And-
I'm feeling it.
And the first time, or while I was in Portugal, I came home on leave, and me and my wife at the time were no longer together. So, yeah. Anyway, long story about that one. We were in D.C., and we saw on the news that he had passed away. It was surprising, and we went to Vegas to go see my brother and his family and my parents. And we were watching the Disney Channel had Aladdin running, not like nonstop, but like nightly.
Oh yeah.
And it was kind of weird sitting there because you'd watch it as a kid, you'd watch it growing up. You never think there would be at the end of the movie in memoriam for Robin Williams. So it's like,
Fuck.
but Robin Williams, not just because of Aladdin, he's like, the man owned a bunch of Warhammer 40K armies. He played D&D. He named his daughter Zelda. So yeah, I love Aladdin. My second best would be the Transformers movie because I like screwing with people. Oh, these are really depressingly funny stories. Let me go ahead.
I don't know if that's contradictory, but depressingly funny.
Okay, it was more like trolling, I guess. In the modern parlance, whatever you want to say, croutons, tomato, potato. Croutons. I was TDY to Alaska in the middle of June or July, and Transformers 2 had just come out. Everybody liked the first one. Oh yeah, it's a great movie.
It was Michael Bay
Yeah, it was Michael Bay.
on repeat.
I liked.
I loved the first one.
Yeah,
so
I
don't.
liked it. But the only negative thing I could ever say is those unmanned aerial vehicles that they said were inbound. They're not jet powered. It's a propeller. So we laughed at that. All the GIs that I knew. But in the original animated movie back in like '86 or '87, they were basically clearing their toy line, and they were going to make room for new characters.
Right.
So they came up with the idea, let's just kill Optimus Prime. So they had this like knockout, bang out fight, him versus Megatron. The victor was going to win the war. And then he dies. And then they put Judd Nelson as the leader of the Autobots for some reason. You don't know. Robert Stack was going to do better, but he got blown up anyway. So this movie comes out and everyone's like, oh yeah, this is amazing. Oh, I'm like, yeah, you guys want to watch the final battle of Optimus Prime and Megatron? I had it with me on DVD. And this is how far we go back, because I didn't download a lot of stuff back then.
DVD. I'm a VHS beta generation, so
Well, when I find
That's not
that
way
Star
back.
Trek tape,
laser
we
discs
will
were
watch
like
it one night.
the biggest invention of my childhood was laser disc. So
Oh,
biggest invention was probably like CD-ROM, 80s and 90s, because you had every single video game that came out for like PCs. They had to have like digital actors, but they didn't get good ones. They got like Malcolm McDowell, whoever else. But I put in this Transformers DVD, run it up to the fight where it's Optimus and Megatron. Everybody's cheering on Optimus, and then he dies.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, hey, this is what happens in the movie. See you guys later. It took off.
So what you're saying is you really enjoyed Aladdin.
Yeah.
But when it comes to making your friends and family
My
depressed
friends.
and upset, you always break out Transformers and show them the death of Optimus Prime.
But I also like to leave them with the thinking that Optimus Prime would eventually come back in a 4-part TV miniseries, as narrated by Liam Neeson.
Yeah. He kind of narrates everything in our lives right now.
And I'm not mad about it.
No, I'm not.
With it.
I'm
He
actually
does get
okay
a little
with it.
cranky when he has to yell out "snore," so that way I hear it, because he is kind of detailing my life. So at 2 a.m. he's yelling "snore, snore."
All right.
Close second to narrate.
Hit us up.
All right. What is the most boring sport, and how would you fix it?
The most boring sport. Can I just say like a sporting event, or is it just in
The sport itself.
Sport.
The
Sport
most
itself.
your opinion on the most boring sport, but you have to fix it.
Make it way cooler.
This makes about as much sense as a guy walking around with a football bat. No, I want to say, I mean, it's internationally, it's like one of the most biggest important sports in like the world. Everybody knows it. Everybody plays it. But looking at it with the ignorant American blinders that I have on sometimes, we're like, it's a bunch of guys kicking a ball around a big giant field, and one of them has to get the ball in the hole.
Okay.
Why not make it instead of penalizing like contact and stuff? Why don't you just like give them pads and stuff, like helmets and pads? Make it full contact. Every time the guy scores a goal, fireworks go off. There's something amazing that goes on.
Or the density of the ball gets harder.
Oh God! Then you got like
To have cheetahs also on the thing.
Yes.
Just have like season-ending injuries. Well, he kicked the ball and it was too hard. What do you want to do?
So you're saying you want
I want
more
soccer to be
death and mayhem in your sports?
not death and mayhem. When
Somebody's going to die.
Light death mayhem.
Yeah.
Very, very.
Concussion. Somebody's going to die, lose a limb.
well, that's only if they're not careful.
Well, I mean, not everybody can be, what was it, a 14 dex?
Yeah.
Not everybody can have that modifier.
No, but those people train for it, so they know what they're getting into. And they sign that dotted line that says, "I'm going to work for 5 bajillion pounds or euros, whatever they use right now, to go play for Manchester United."
Depends on where you're from.
In full-on power armor. Yeah.
It always depends on where you're from.
Yeah.
Soccer power armor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Power armor.
Now I could do that, like the first G.I. Joe movie.
Like, we're talking like with Channing Tatum, right?
Yeah, the first one.
Okay, not the cartoon one with Don Johnson. Yeah, okay, I'm with you.
Oh, the cartoon. That's defines my
You can have them
childhood.
dressed up as like Power Rangers. I wouldn't even be mad.
Oh,
A bunch of Power Rangers.
Wouldn't even,
playing soccer.
that's a
that
whole
would
nother.
actually
Yeah,
also
that would be
a really
pretty cool.
interesting thing,
Especially if they're all different colors. Who's on your team?
But exactly, you don't know who's on your team.
Because you can't be all one color.
well,
Kind of
why
takes
why-
one from
why
being
not
away from being a
also,
Power Ranger.
if we're big on capital punishment and all that horrible.
I don't know about we,
Yeah.
but you might be.
Well, if the populace is interested in capital punishment, why don't we start putting like the most horrific, horrible like offenders, like not like minor, like I got caught with weed when I was a teenager, I got sent to jail for 30 years. No, we're talking like
So you're talking
horrible monsters of society,
like
And-
Running Man.
Not Running Man. They're just gonna play soccer.
We just play soccer.
They're gonna play soccer with the dense balls.
With necklaces that blow their heads off.
No.
That's terrifying.
No.
It was Running Man, Arnold. I was
Yeah,
like,
but there's a difference. Running Man made it cool when he said, "Yeah, it's Sub-Zero, not just zero."
I don't think anybody could make that cool.
No.
No.
All right. Least favorite of the 5 the most common 5 senses?
Least favorite?
Yes.
Come on, man. Smell. Think about it.
I don't have to. I agree with you.
Yeah, you're walking down the street, a busy street. I'll give an example. I once walked down like Bourbon Street in New Orleans for like 5 minutes, and it was, yeah, there are very few things that stick with you besides the World War II Museum and the waterfront, and Bourbon Street was one of those things that stuck with me. It did not smell very good. Disheartening to say the least. You think you see like all the people like, hey, throw me beads. No. It was like 9 in the morning on MLK Jr. Day, and it smelled disgusting. And that wasn't like the Mississippi or anything else, or like the river or the water next to it. It was just debauchery. The remnants of it there.
Ugh.
So.
Deliciously
disgusting.
All right, what's the best/worst practical joke that you've played on someone or that was played on you?
I think the worst one that was played on me, and I think it was pretty messed up.
Optimus Prime was dead.
Yeah.
No.
I was like,
No. The worst one was when I was deployed. Someone took a. I don't know. How mature can we go?
What do you mean? What'd they take?
They took a condom and they filled it with lotion and they put it next to my head while I was sleeping.
Next to it, or
They put it like right next to my pillow.
so
And I was
did it
passed
squish
out.
and squirt out, or
When I woke up, I looked over like, what the fuck? Threw it on the ground. I was like, dude. And I told my roommate. My roommate told me that he did it. So I was like, come on, man.
so that was the best or the worst?
That was the worst, man.
I'm a little impressed that they were able to shove a bunch of lotion.
It was like that.
It was like they squirted like 1, 2, and then that was it. It wasn't
okay.
like
I was imagining it like full, and I'm like, damn, that's just
it
impressive.
was not
kind of
like
thing. Yeah.
It was not like someone like had like a 50-gallon like bottle and just sat there, let it gravity feed
like a compressor.
into like a Magnum condom. No,
It was like 37 pounds. But
It's like, holy
it
shit.
looked like someone just literally just shit a banana. I don't know what it was.
So, since you haven't gotten rid of your sense of smell, was it like aloe vera, cocoa butter?
It was like Jergens hand lotion.
Oh god.
See, because the smell of lotion does stick with you.
Yes.
Yeah,
it does.
and it was like Jergens,
There is something
like
about it.
hand lotion, or it was like sunscreen. Or whatever.
Man.
But still, that was.
Not exactly
God, it was like
fun.
when I was 20. No, yeah, 20. Yeah, I turned.
You're
20 when I was
scarred.
in the desert.
Hard for
Well,
life, man.
the fact that the guy has the picture and he probably has it sitting somewhere. I don't think he's shown it to anybody else.
Instagram.
No, I don't want.
Good thing you don't have it on Instagram.
Good thing he never gave me the picture.
Yeah.
It could be out there. If you're not on Instagram, it could be out there. It could be like getting so many likes right now.
Yeah,
Like
and
so
then that guy would be getting. Well, I think with a lot of how people have to deal with like harassment stuff, like people like
It's
that have-
harassment.
harassment, harassment.
It's Harrison Ford.
Harassment. Okay. All right. Next question.
The worst solo you.
That was great. All right. Brilliant.
Where's
Brilliant.
my family?
Brilliant segue. Okay. What mythical creature would improve the world most
Harrison Ford.
if
Harassment Ford.
it existed?
Well, an immortal Optimus Prime, maybe? No, a mythological creature that exists.
Yeah, mythical creatures. Like something that, I mean, you can believe in it or not believe in it, but if it hasn't been proven, it's mythical. Would improve the world most if it existed.
I could probably get really philosophical, or I could just go with a quick and easy answer. Shorter answer would be anthropomorphic animal person of varying.
That's
degrees.
general.
That's general. However, I would think
That's a
another
whole,
one-
like,
Yeah, that's a whole
Yeah.
species.
society, species.
But I think what would probably be interesting and bring the world together would be motherfucking fire-breathing dragons. Be like Rain of Fire, but you don't have McConaughey talking about how dragons, you know, they get older, I stay the same age.
I'm telling you,
Oh my god.
dragons would be badass.
Matthew McConaughey is a dragon. I'm just excited about that.
Hey, I remember this one time.
Doing
I was,
crunches on the beach.
Yeah.
You see, just
he's got the bongo drum
Yeah.
sitting out. They're
He's a
actually like
dragon guy.
two hollowed out like truck containers. Dun, 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 dun. Smoking dragon wheat? I don't know.
But how would he fit inside of?
Smoking dragon weed.
How would he fit inside like a Lincoln SUV?
He doesn't need one.
He just
fly around.
just
He
flies
stays
around.
the same. He doesn't
Could you
need
see
it.
him flying sideways? You know,
I'd like
like
to think
He
that when I
flies
had
in
my
pull his shirt
Lincoln,
up.
you know, all dragon's eggs are like a circle.
Seriously.
I was about to get
Okay,
into
so
that.
you're saying not just dragons, but Matthew McConaughey as a dragon.
Well, I think dragons in general.
I do too, but we just put it to another.
Oh yeah.
So a singular entity that all dragons are Matthew McConaughey.
Holy crap.
That's Matthew
This-
McConaughey dragons.
We
New breed
are
dragon.
okay, and we all play in games, and some of us write adventures. That might just have to happen.
needs to go.
So stay tuned, people. You never know
Gonna
what's
be
going to
like,
happen.
all right.
All right. Who's in my lair?
Time to eat a whole horse. All right. All right.
I lost my volume on my laugh. Oh,
All right.
that's good.
What is a pet peeve word to you?
I don't know. Not a whole lot of words annoy me. I like saying words that annoy other people, like moist.
So that one doesn't bother me at all.
I love that word. That word's fantastic. I work in a bakery.
I mean, seriously,
Or-
I grew up with like all cakes and cookies and stuff. It's just they're
Ooh,
moist.
this is very
Moist.
It
moist.
means something to me. It means it's going to be
Yeast.
chewy and taste good, and I don't have to down like a gallon of milk. Moist. Sounds good.
There is a show, or my friend Caitlin got me to start watching Letterkenny. It's supposed to be on Hulu like next week or at the end of this week. And like one character says, yeah, there's this word I hate. It's moist. So all three of them say, oh, moist. And so they start riffing on moist. So like, what's the matter? You don't like Three Mousketeers? Someone says yeast, and it's like, what? I think Beauty and the Yeast was the best damn Disney movie ever.
Oh, damn. See, and I'm one of those people, it's like, I think if a word is repeated too much, it's going to become my pet peeve word. So we've had those discussions. But what would be yours, though?
If there was something...
That just kind of right now in your life, there's just like, you know what, that word is just, I've had enough of it right now.
not right now,
Yeah.
but could come back later as a better thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pet peeves.
People
Pet
change,
peeves
man.
change, man.
Right now, and I don't mean to get overtly political, but Republican.
That word has changed many, many times over the last couple hundred years, and
Well,
right
actually,
now,
in the last year and a half, it's gotten worse than it was.
well, yeah, but 50 years ago, it meant something completely different, also.
Yeah, 50 years ago,
So,
100 years ago, it meant something.
so there are some, there's some changes in the definitions and those words. So,
Times they are changing.
yeah.
So words.
Thanks,
are
Bob
changing.
Dylan.
Yeah. You're the real one.
Hey,
Real
see?
MVP.
Did we make it?
I think you made it. You
Holy
made it.
crap! You just
Tony. Oh.
It's like Snake in the Microwave.
You just beat level 2, and you've made it to the boss battle.
Boss battle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here comes the boss battle. Yeah. Do you have questions about the boss battle?
Oh, I was going
Or-
to say...
Or do you want
as
to
a
stay at
person
level
who-
2?
As a person who enjoys Dark Souls...
Coach. No one looks forward to the goddamn boss.
Yeah, you're like, oh, hey, I'm walking around. Giant moth, dead. Like, what the fuck
You
was
just
that?
turn around. It's like, oh, cool, I'm doing good. What the fuck is this?
I think they're having those problems also in God of War with the archangels. Some of them come by and just beat the shit out of you, and you can't do anything about it. I've seen a lot of Twitch streams right now that are against that part of God of War, the new God of War that came out. But I still want to play it.
Not the musical?
So send me a PS4, anyone, and I will play God of War for you. Now, boss battle.
Yeah.
There's some rules about the boss battle. You get a choice, and I didn't even tell Rysa about this, and I apologize, but you have unlimited actions when it comes to attacks. So, if you want to attack every single question in there, you totally can. But there are 2 additional movements or actions that you can take. You get one of each. One's called a deflection, which means, you know what? I'd rather hear the hosts answer that or do that. Or you can block it and say, you know what? That's a little too personal. I'm not doing it at all.
Or
So
just
that-
in general, I don't want to answer.
no, I don't want to answer it. That's a dumb question, and I don't give a shit about it. Does that make sense? So you can use one of each of those once.
Okay.
That's
Per
it.
question or just
Nope.
overall?
Just
Overall.
once?
Overall.
Okay.
Overall. But you have as many attacks as you want, which attacks just means I'm going to answer the question. Okay, so I'll go first. And after I ask the question, tell me if you're going to attack, deflect, or block. Jim, how old are you?
34.
So you attacked.
Yes.
That was an attack.
Ooh,
All right.
there's your attack.
Ha-cha-cha.
Good job.
Got it. All right. 10 seconds to explain your life.
10 seconds to explain my life.
10 seconds.
Yep, time's
Go
already
ahead.
ticking.
Go.
I am here. I always am here, and I'll be here long after I'm gone.
Was that 10?
That.
I think it was
Baloney
9.7.
Yeah. It's like, all right. That's okay.
All right. Next question.
You attack.
Ooh, you're doing very well. When was the last time you were blacked out drunk?
32nd birthday, and yeah, that was it.
Anything happened that
Yeah, what
night?
happened? What?
Is there anything that you can actually say that's on record without being incriminating?
I woke up in a different room in my house when I was on the island, and I was kind of sort of being made to feel like I was a horrible person because I got too wasted.
Oh, that will never happen here.
Yeah. But
Too wasted?
Too wasted?
Now, too wasted too often is different.
no, this was because my wife, who I was married to, paid more attention to all of her friends she had made at work instead of celebrating my birthday with me.
No.
So yeah.
Well, I'm not paying for your therapy.
Yeah, I know.
And this show doesn't make any money.
Yeah.
So let's see if you can beat the boss.
Okay.
All right. What's the most embarrassing moment of your life?
Okay. So I'm in high school. When I was in high school, I was in junior ROTC. It was like, a military thing. I mean, we wore uniforms once a week. We did extracurricular activities. We went to drill meets. And in my sophomore year, me and 5 of my friends, we were tasked to do flag details. So at the home game for our football team, we would raise the flag for them. And, they'd play the national anthem. Everybody would care. Not a lot of people cared until after 9/11. Then everybody was like all for it. America.
cares. Yeah.
So we were done. They started playing the game. We were out in the parking lot, and they didn't have places for us to change. We couldn't change in the locker rooms because that was for the football teams. And our
Understandable.
Yeah, and our football team had to play in another school's stadium or like a football field, which was weird because we had to walk on that same field to graduate when we graduate high school. We had to graduate in another high school. It's weird. But, so we're sitting there in the parking lot and we're changing.
Yeah.
It's dark. There's not a whole lot of light. And I've got my my blues shirt off. And I have like the undershirt. And I'm in my socks. I kicked off my like shiny shoes, and I'm undoing my belt, and I'm dropping it. I'm bending over, so I'm ready to pick up the pants, and then out of darkness there was light.
Oh, yeah.
It was someone's headlights.
Oh, absolutely.
And they found me showing my ass.
So what you're saying is somebody got a full-on shot of your taint.
No, they got.
Change
You were bent over.
I was bent over. I had my pants around my ankles. I was changing, and they caught me
behind.
From behind. So I was
So you were
petrified with fear. I don't think they knew who I was. I don't think I knew who they were. But eventually, the lights turned off, and the car.
So it was tainted love at first sight.
Yep.
I'm coining that bitch.
That's pretty good.
Tainted love at first.
Tainted
that.
love
Tainted
at first
love.
sight.
Oh my.
They got
Okay.
a good. They got a
So the
good
most
snapshot of
embarrassing
the
moment of your life is tainted love at first
Tainted
sight.
love.
They may be still trying to find you.
Like, damn.
Yeah, good
never-
thing I don't answer any of those like misconnections.
Yes.
It'd be really weird if when I was like 15 and answered that on Craigslist.
Misconnection.
No, I gotta go like talk to a lawyer and ask if somebody like touched me in my no-nos.
How-
Well, the
how
boss is getting a little weak.
How fantastic of a misconnection would that be? Turned my headlights on, saw your taint, just trying to find you. Like who would be like, that's me. I did that.
What the worst thing is?
Sometimes
if it's, like,
that's
some
all you
stinky
get.
Hobo.
But that's sometimes.
You
I
saw
mean,
my. I saw my. Well, the worst thing is, how does the hobo know about the misconnection?
I know he is
using
very
the library computer.
That would be
very
great.
technological.
I can honestly see it. Misconnection.
I saw your
Tainted
tainted
love.
football.
Oh my gosh.
Shiny shoes.
No, it was
Saw
like
your
black
taint.
socks. They weren't even shiny pants.
Oh my god.
I'm in. That's funny. Okay, That's one of my faves right now. Okay,
I'm sure when the best of compilation comes out, you guys.
the best of. That's. Oh well, I'm coining a phrase
Best
from
of-
somewhere.
best of
I'll come up with
boss
something. Best of the boss battles. Who do you go out of your way to be nice to?
Yes, people in general. There's not any specific person I'm like bending over backwards to please. Because, people, the whole old school adage is treat people the way you want to be treated. I like to treat people nice. I expect to be treated nice in return. Does it happen? Not so much.
Nah.
But
very unfortunate.
It don't happen.
You don't lose faith in that ideal that
Does not happen.
You should treat people fairly with dignity and respect, regardless of what they are. I have to deal with a lot of younger people. There's one guy who's 2 years older than me. and
Younger
has two
people, those little
stripes.
whippersnippers.
No, this
Get off
guy's
my
like-
lawn!
Whippersnippers.
They're like
Yeah.
this guy's like a 36-year-old guy, and he's like A1C, pay grades like E3. He joined the service. Not a lot of people like him because he's kind of lazy.
And
But
he just
also-
subscribed to this channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he also expects like everybody to like.
I'll put a link to his Twitter.
Yeah.
No, I don't even know. I stay far and away from a lot of people at work as I possibly can, because there are some people I like and there's some people I just don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're saying you don't go out of your way.
You just are.
Yeah, I am nice, and the worst part is because I'm nice, I get used by everybody else.
Well,
True that.
that's what we're here for.
No.
We're
thank
the
you.
ultimate support class.
Oh, I thought you were just like, that's what we're here for, to use you.
Oh,
I was like, oh, wow.
wow, that's
I
like
was-
being married again.
I was relating. Or still.
Yeah.
Ah.
Listen to this.
I know she's literally in the other room.
Yes,
Dun,
yes.
dun,
And
dun.
next thing you know, when I'm gone, it's like, Scooter, get your ass in.
I'm gonna beat your ass.
No, Mama, no. So
You guys got oranges, right? They don't leave bruises.
yes, they don't. Not as much.
God.
That's talking
Bags
before?
of flour.
Bags of flour.
We know
Bags
those.
of flour. Oh my god.
Yep.
know, I'd like to-
less bruises.
I
Bags
use
of flour
movie
can fucking
quotes.
murder somebody, dude. That shit's heavy.
I use
Yes.
movie quotes, and one of my favorite movie quotes is from Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and it's like, yeah, I think my dad told me he loved me in Morse code.
Oh my god.
Not that we think that's an okay thing, listeners. That's a horrible thing. If you're doing that, stop. If you're a victim of it, tell someone.
True that.
That's
Your
true.
public service
Very
announcement. All right, what's this boss got?
All right.
I ain't got
Alright.
Here we go.
personality.
It does have personality.
Eat this or that. Eat this or that.
Okay.
Okay. So
Let's do it.
Jackson, okay.
This is the point in the game at our final business where we play Bean Boozled.
We're just as excited as you.
Yes.
There you go.
So, spin the dial and we will find out which Bean Boozled flavor
Shit.
you get to take.
I ate the pencil last time. That shit.
You ate the pencil.
There's a
Yeah, well,
There's a pencil that
there's one
came with the
tastes like
game.
pencil.
It was
yeah, it was
the
like
pencil.
tough as
it
hell,
probably,
but I ate it.
probably tastes better than the jelly bean that came with it. What does it say?
Tutti Frutti or Stinky Sauce?
Yes. Yes.
There you go.
I don't think it. I mean, even if you gave him the wrong one, he still has like a. This is where we go into philosophical.
Philosophical.
You know those words. You know words, English. You know,
Yeah, no good.
where
I don't did good.
you're supposed to have a 50-50 chance,
So far, we have.
but really, you know that it's already something. So
Yeah, it is a rotund object that is speckled with red.
and it's already a flavor, so you really don't have a chance one way or the other. Oh my God, he took
He
it.
just did it. He just did it.
What do you got? What do you got? What are you feeling? What are you feeling? You feeling woozy?
Fruity? Or
It is Tutti Frutti.
Oh, he got it.
Oh
Ah.
man. Okay. Well, whether you would have. Yep. It's because
It
normally
smells fruity,
we
yeah.
could smell something, but
Usually,
nope.
yeah.
Tutti Frutti. Well done,
You
sir.
made it fabulous.
It is Stinky Sock, and you just have trained yourself.
To ignore the flavors of sadness.
Hey. I've been in for like 15 years. Ignoring sadness is kind of like a part of the job.
Well, here's the cool part. You have beaten the boss battle. So what we get to now is, since you beat the boss, you get the shameless plug.
Hey,
I get the shameless plug.
Yes.
shame it up. Let's go.
We get talk about yourself for a minute. Like, tell us what's going on in your life now, what you want us to hear about. A couple minutes of like, who's Jim?
There's this Twitch thing I do for this group. It's like called Time the Tabletop.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I run the show called One Shot Action Theater.
Oh,
and
heard of that too.
The idea and the concept was to do multiple games, like running them once a month. And then it got taxing because A, my first ever session, we only had 2 people. B, the next week after that, it was just 1 person. And then we kind of put it on the back burner to retool, reschedule. Well, we
On
came...
simmer.
Yeah.
Just put it on
simmer.
Low.
Just
But-
put on low.
A few weeks ago, we came back and we ran a D&D game.
With a vengeance.
With a vengeance. And I don't know that everybody really like it. Demographics, you're our demographics guy.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, that one guy with the that guy with the graphing calculator in the back. I see it.
Sandra Bullock, calm
Sandra.
We're gonna keep yelling Sandra every time,
Yes.
even on the show.
Sandra.
So, upcoming events for One Shot Action Theater. Next week, we're gonna be going back to the well. We're going to start playing Fallout Texas again, but we're going to be using a different rule system.
Yep. And those episodes will probably air before this.
Yes.
So you can always watch them on VOD.
Yes, on the YouTubes. Yep. And you can catch it live on the Twitch in your local area soon. Sorry, we have to put a placeholder in.
All over the world.
Yeah, also, September, one of the players on the show might be running a game.
What?
So, yeah. We're working on what game they're going to bring. So I guess it's almost like a what game did you bring rehash. And then finally, we're going to be doing, I guess, a long one-shot. And this is kind of going to be my swan song, my coup de grace.
Opus.
My opus, if you will. Because I'm going to be going somewhere for about a year, and I don't know if I'll be coming back, but if I am coming back, I'll be more than willing to grovel at the boss's feet for a job. And if I don't, well, I can always take the show on the road. But we're going to be running...
I like taking shows on the road.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
but we're going to be running a game called The Fall of Delta Green, and I've been doing a lot of research, and my oldest brother has been giving me crap saying, well, you're building all this stuff up, you're doing all this research, and there's a possibility they're just going to be a bunch of assholes and fuck it up. Right now...
It's an RPG, right?
Yeah.
It's an RPG.
It's the
So
risk you
that's
always
what
have to take.
that's the way
Yeah.
it goes. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not an RPG. You've realized this. Everybody's realized this. I've game mastered for Rysa. Okay?
best laid
You can
plans
plan whatever the
often
hell you
don't
want,
happen.
and they throw it to shit and make it 10 times better than you ever thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
It is,
or-
you really do.
Or you're sitting
The
there
players
going,
know they can write a story better than you can. I guarantee you. It's just the way they work.
And the best part is, it's not just like your story you're writing. They're also helping inject
Oh
and
my God.
telling that whole story.
Love
So
it.
that's why I
Like
love
campfire.
Yeah, that's why I
Oh,
love.
love it.
That's why I love RPGs a lot more than I used to. Because you can sit there and get told another settlement needs your help, or you got to go kill 5 guys so I can give you like a gold piece and maybe a shot at some nice pants. In this, it's like, well, you guys are helping me tell a story, and the story is this, and how we get from point A to point B, that's entirely up to you. So this game is supposed to take place in the 1960s, and it involves I wouldn't say clandestine, but they aren't, government organization that has hands in every single federal agency. And it just so happens in the 1960s, in this game's timeline, it was like a Call of Cthulhu add-on. This organization gets shut down because they made so many mistakes in a lot of other operations around the world. And since this takes place in the 60s, where I'm setting it at is right near the end of the decade. So right at the end of 1968, which is probably one of the worst years in like recorded American history because you had riots, you had
Recorded American history.
yes, you had riots, you
Disclaimer.
had conflict, you had everything all over the world. The Tet Offensive, you had when somebody stormed the DNC.
So you're basing this whole thing off of
No,
that that
the
concept.
setting for
that setting.
The setting for this game is the 1960s. That's the setting it was set for. Everything takes place in the 1960s.
Okay, this is all being this is being recorded and aired. So you have to do this now.
Well, yeah, that's
Okay,
why
well,
this
I'm
is
just-
my magnum opus.
Well,
I've already got 2.
But you set this into motion, so
Yes,
this will air.
Yes, this is going to be airing in October and November, and it also helps that I have currently at this point in time, because people's lives, things change. I have two favorite people of our show. Daniel says he's interested and he wants to play, and a host of some show like Generation Hero, Michael says he's interested.
I've heard of those two people
Yeah, they are some of our favorite
somewhere
people.
in the wind.
Yeah, and then there's the actual people who are running it with me. They said they'd like to give it a shot. And
Well, let's make this happen.
it's not just
Let's
going
make
to
this
make
happen.
it happen. It is going to happen. It's going to happen.
Let's do it. Well, awesome. So those are basically everything we're going to do. We're going to encompass some badass gaming
Yes.
and enjoy ourselves after we just kick the shit out of the boss.
Yeah.
So-
one other thing, we're going to try to experiment a little bit. So I'm going to hold up like musical cues. So if you guys are fans of music of that period or even in the modern day, if you look out
Music
for
of the 60s.
If you look out for a card that has
Oh,
a
yeah.
song title, it might be a good idea to start playing that as it occurs. We're not going to be able to play it because of legal issues. So,
The tubes of the U.
yeah, I mean, if we can get a Muzak version, that'd be okay, right?
Muzak.
Like, who doesn't want?
I've used that. We've used that service at some of the places I've worked. Home Depot.
Yeah.
We used Muzak.
You know, hey,
So-
Devo put out a Muzak album.
I think it's great. It works. So, royalty free.
Yes.
Go for it. Music should be free. Well, thank you very much, Jim. Also, just remember that our lovely hosts are Rysa.
And Scooter.
Oh, look at that. We just did that. We didn't even plan that. What? And thank you so much for showing up tonight and recording this with us, Jim. Just make sure that we all pull up a chair and talk off the dice, and we will do it again very, very soon.
Yeah, and also make time to tabletop.
We
And,
always do now.
Always.
keep circulating the URLs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have a good night. Thank you very much.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Off the Dice is a time to tabletop production, building community through the language of gaming.
Hello, my name's Dave, and I'm the host of the Catch Me Up podcast here on the Drowning Man Podcast Network. If you've ever been in a conversation with friends where they turn to you and say, "What, you haven't seen that?" then this podcast is for you. On this show, I have people come and share with me the films and television shows that have made American pop culture, but that I missed. New episodes come out on the first and third Monday of each month. You can find new episodes and interact with me over at catchmeuppodcast.com.